after going one season without a trophy, Pep Guardiola came into this season hoping to better his fortunes of last season. And so far, you can say, yeah, they've gone one better than last season. Yes, Manchester City fans, for once in a long while, went without celebrating a trophy. However, there was one team standing between themselves and a trophy this season. That was Arsenal. Arsenal were chanting for the quadruple, going for the quadruple. They say they're going to win everything because they were still in everything. And I marked it at 100%. So one trophy is 25%. But as it stands now, they can go for a maximum of 75%. They're still in the FA Cup. They still have the league to themselves. And they also get to play in the Champions League. But now, what exactly happened in a one-off game that Arteta was supposed to come out guns blazing and make sure that they put Manchester City to the sword? Well, it ended up with this young man here, Nico O'Reilly, getting all two important goals. Yes, Nico O'Reilly, 21-year-old, born and raised in Manchester, plays for Manchester City through and through since he was a kid. Now, he got all two goals from a very different position in that particular scheme of things. But what exactly happened? Let's break it down. There were phases to the game. Now, when the game started, it was an onslaught for Arsenal on Manchester City. Manchester City had to sit back and soak all that pressure from Arsenal, to the extent where Trafford, who was imposed for Manchester City, had to go for a triple save at one point in time to keep Manchester City in the game and keep the game level. Now, fast forward after 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 19 minutes, 20 minutes, and then the game shifts into gear. Pep does one thing and switches everything in favor of his team. However, what was Pep Guardiola seeking to do with his team? Pep Guardiola was seeking to block all the passing channels from Arsenal. Why? Because Arsenal this season have enjoyed the battle, the physical battle, the contact from other teams. They love it when other teams go one-on-one across the pitch with their players wide. Constantly, they have a situation where they've got their holders dropping into this part of defense and trying to orchestrate things. In this particular sequence of things, you can see that Declan Rice has dropped from midfield to join the back two or the center backs to try and progress the ball upfield. Normally, what happens is when you go man-to-man on Arsenal, this particular movement of Declan Rice causes a confusion with regards to who is marking who and who has to take care of who and whose responsibility it is to move with Declan Rice. So constantly, they have a situation where they are able to move the ball quickly on that side of things and get into the attacking third. So to stop that, Pep Guardiola had to revisit one of the trophies he lost at this very Wembley Stadium, where he was beaten by Erik ten Hag. He was the coach of Manchester United then for the FA Cup. Now, this is what happened. In that particular game, Pep Guardiola was stunned because Erik ten Hag had 4 attackers blocking the passing channels. But with this particular game, he tried something similar, but with a different twist. What was the twist? He had 4 attackers, all right. So Ryan Cherki, Erling Haaland, Jeremy Doku, and then Antoine Semenyo trying to just be here. A lot of people are saying they are blocking the passing channels. That is one. But actually, this player here, that is Saka, can actually sit in here and receive the ball. But what were Arsenal waiting for? Arsenal were waiting for Manchester City's trigger of a press. But they never got it because constantly this line of 4 just stood there and were ready, instead of pressing, ready to push back. Why? Because their goal was simple. Just make your presence felt and then reduce the amount of passes that go through to the middle. However, it also gives you an opportunity to do what? Force Arsenal to play something they don't like doing. That is going long. Now, constantly in this game, Arsenal kept on having the sequence and going long. So they did not have the laxity of having man-on-man pressing, which they love, and they constantly were turning people around and then going through midfield. So constantly you have the situation where this 4 here blocking this lane and just being static, not moving forward, but rather ready to run anytime Arsenal were about to boot the ball over the top of the midfield. Now, going on into other things also, from the back for Manchester City. They also twisted a couple of things. But in the first half, they were finding it also difficult to play out from the back because Arsenal were trying as much as possible to go man on their defenders. So this is the case where you've got Trossard. He's actually shadow marking the man, Matheus Nunes. And also you've got Saka here keeping an eye on the other side. You've got Gyökeres keeping a close eye on Kushnerov also. And it's all across the pitch. Now, you move it along and you see that Arsenal were still trying to do similar things in the first half. However, Pep then told his wide attackers to just extend the pitch, make the pitch wider. So hug the touchline because there were other people to do the damage inside the channel. So you have Antoine Semenyo and then Jeremy Doku constantly hugging the touchlines and running by the bylines. However, one particular yellow card shifted everything in favor of Manchester City and enhanced their press to win the game. One yellow card, or the first yellow card of the game, going out to Pierre Hincapie, was that one that broke the Arsenal backline, but they don't want to accept it. Why? Because that particular yellow card allowed the man, Antoine Semenyo, to constantly drive at Hincapie. Because why? Hincapie cannot touch Semenyo. Any touch, second yellow, and then it's a red. So Semenyo took advantage of that and was constantly aided by this gentleman here, Ryan Cherki, whose arrow you can see coming into that direction, and they kept on just running riot on that side. One other thing also that assisted this particular side of things was the press of Trossard. Leandro Trossard was not getting so close to Matheus Nunes and was allowing Nunes that particular channel to constantly have that relationship on the pitch with his fellow teammates, that is Antoine Semenyo. Now, you also look at a couple of things that City were trying to do in the first half, proud to getting an opening in the second half. So, like I said, they kept on doubling up on Pierre Hincapie because of the yellow card, and also you have Nunez coming into midfield where he normally feels comfortable, but started the game out on the right backside or the right back position. Now, then came the second half, and then there was a switch of everything. So this is still the first half where Arsenal were being forced to actually go long. And one thing throughout the game that you should have noticed is Arsenal did not win any of the second balls anytime they went long. Anytime Arsenal went long, they never won the second balls. However, Manchester City then in the second half twisted things, and Pep just told his guys to go long and wait for the second ball. So listen, Pep did not instruct his boys to play from the back, no, but rather to go long, get the second balls, and build up quickly into the final third. So this particular sequence has been shortened, and this is what led to one of the goals. But ladies and gentlemen, very simple. In this sequence leading up to this goal, Arsenal could not just get onto the ball and just even string 3 passes together. It did not happen. So what were they doing? Constantly, Arsenal was also just hovering around and not actively pressing Manchester City. We gave Manchester City that laxity of room to do whatever they so pleased to do. Now, the ball comes in from the back, gets headed down, and then Manchester City wins the second ball, recycles this ball, comes to the side, and now finally the ball comes back. They lose it in midfield, but quickly City get the ball back. When City get the ball back, an exceptional player on the day, former Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri, now looks for Antoine Semenyo, gets that ball to him, and he's got one option, to again drive at Hincapie. Hincapie cannot touch anyone who gets close to him. He's already on a yellow card. He's touching no one. He's touching no one. So ball gets to him, and now they don't just double up on him. They, in fact, get to a point where they triple up on him. And you've got, look at O'Reilly's starting position, proud to the ball going out wide. But he eventually ends up running through, and the man, Zubimendi, is able to pick up his run. However, the likes of Saka, who should have actually also backtracked, slept on the job, making sure that the man, O'Reilly, performed a magic he did against Newcastle by scoring a goal in that sequence. Then again, something similar happened leading up to the second goal. Now, again, from that side, who again is trying to hold down that side for us now? Piero Hincapié. He was not getting the support of his outfield player who was actually ahead of him to come back and be helping him in that position. He was not getting that. And City just capitalized on that yellow card and made sure that he was culpable for both goals. However, the man, Kepa Arrizabalaga, also made exceptional errors. And at a point in time, you would ask yourself, should he have actually spent 90 minutes on the pitch after that whole bear-hugging situation with Doku? Then you say, well, maybe the law is the law. So we move from that. But then again, that's what happened. And one thing also you should actually acknowledge was how the likes of Nunez constantly tracked back to make sure that they suffocated Arsenal on the charge anytime they got the ball. Arsenal not getting second balls. Arsenal not being so good at set pieces on the day. Literally, to the extent where Arteta lacked ideas and had to put his best midfielder in right-back position. Oh, yes. So the man, Declan Rice, started the game in midfield but ended the game as a right-back. Why would you put a player who actually can affect a lot of things for you or affect a lot of things for you in midfield at right-back position? That's a big question that Arteta would need to answer. From this particular situation, Nico O'Reilly scored a brace. Something similar happened against Newcastle when Newcastle sat ultra deep and invited the press or pressure from Manchester City. And then again, in this game, Manchester City forced their hand of Arteta to play their way and forget all they have been doing the entirety of the season. Others are blaming the lack of Eze, the lack of Odegaard for this particular result. But then again, I ask, Eze, Odegaard are not the only creative players in this Arsenal bunch. There are a lot of attackers in this Arsenal bunch who are creative enough to have actually helped Arsenal get a result. But on this quest, you'd have to give it up to Pep Guardiola, who reinvented himself mid-game to actually make sure that he got his 5th Carabao title and also 19th trophy. 19th trophy. Let that sink in.